Let's
And
go. Welcome in, good, beautiful people. Welcome, peace, blessings, good evening, and welcome everyone to the Monday night online open mic presented by the legendary New Eurekan Poets Cafe. I will be your host for the evening. I am Elemen2al. Happy Monday. This is the jump off, ladies and gentlemen. Finally, Monday has come back. Let's go. We are streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We do this every Monday, man, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. If you're watching and you would like to join us in Zoom, the number here is 279-995-364. As everyone is coming in, I appreciate your energy. Advocate of Words had an engagement this evening, so I will be the conductor of this craziness tonight. Before we get started, we got to pay some bills. You know, people put this together for us, and we would definitely like to thank the National Endowment for the Arts, the New York State Council on the Arts, the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs, Amazon Literary Partnership, the New York Community Trust for sponsoring our free online events. You too can help support us with a tax-deductible donation by going to neweurekan.org/contribute, or by making the Cash App ring at New Eurekan Poets Cafe. Tonight's theme, my house, not they house, not your house, it's my house, all right? I am looking forward to hearing what the walls are gonna talk about this evening. You know, how many times have you heard, oh, if these walls could talk, right? They are gonna talk this evening, and I am looking forward to the secrets that they are going to tell. If your poem is not on theme tonight, that's totally cool. We still truly look forward to hearing your work and you sharing your energy with us, truly. Next week's theme is gonna be family. Listen, family is always such a beautifully dicey topic. So I'm really looking forward to seeing, you know, what everyone comes up with. For all the next upcoming themes, definitely plug into the main host, Advocate of Words with a Z, you know, poetic license, that whole jump. All right, check it out. Let's get to these house rules really quick, man. First of all, poets, please turn your cameras on, all right? We definitely want to simulate a live open mic as possible. And of course, we'd love to see your expression and the exuberance that you bring when you deliver your work. Really, it really makes a difference. And of course, we want to see if you clean your room, of course. But please turn your cameras on. We definitely want to see how you get down. Please have your poems ready when we get to you. If you're doing the digital realm, have it up on your phone or pull the file up now, please. Or if you're going analog, get your book out, turn to the pages, drop in the bookmark, get it ready to rock. Poets, you have 3 minutes. All right, try not to go 3:05, 3:10. Be considerate of your fellow poets. We do have a full list tonight, and I would love to make sure we get to everyone. Also, you have a 30-second intro to give everyone your coordinates if you so choose, and then we'll give you the floor to get down. All right. There is no censorship. Check it out. The folks who put these walls together, who built these bricks and made it this cafe, they wanted to make sure that freedom of speech was a priority. And we're going to continue to make sure it runs through the veins of every component of this cafe, okay? However, we will not tolerate any type of hate speech, all right? Any type of hate speech in any form, all right? Don't come in here talking all that Django, you will get wrangled up out of here, all right? Believe that. People have some very expressive and explicit ways of telling their stories and weaving their tales together. So you might not necessarily want the babies around when they start getting down, all right? Also, some of our poets may use some very, very vulnerable language, and some of those flashbacks can be quite triggering. All right, so you have been warned, thou have been warned. It could get a little dicey and spicy in here. All right, after the poet's rip, you will see a pop-up on your screen. All right, it will ask you to unmute. Listen, this is not easy, getting in here and expressing your art. So express that energy and give it back to the poets when you get that pop-up to unmute. All right, all that energy that we're sharing with each other, this is how you give it back. This is the response to their call of giving you all that energy. All right, look, don't worry about the neighbors. All right, it's Monday night, right? Clearly now it's football season, so everybody, you know, all their rowdy friends are here on Monday night, or all my rowdy friends are right here on Monday night. So look, you know, poetry is what it is, so let's tell them about it. The sign up tonight is closed. To sign up for the open mic, 24 hours before, you will go to the newyourekan.org. You want to click on full events calendar, click on the date and the event that you're looking for, which is the Monday night online open mic. You need to reserve an artist RSVP ticket. That's the only way that you can get on the guaranteed list, is with an artist RSVP ticket. And again, it's just like tonight, but it's just 24 hours before. That's when you sign up. The artist RSVP tickets will not even populate until 24 hours before the open mic. All right. Also going on in the cafe, there is the Let's Write a Book of Poems hosted by Advocate of Words, going on every Sunday. It's in the actual cafe and on Zoom. They have been coming up with some incredible things, talking shop, writing, editing. All right. It is really one of those spaces that you definitely don't want to miss out on. Plug in at any time, truly. Also in the cafe, there is the Wednesday Night Slam, also hosted by Advocate of Words. The winner of that slam advances to Friday night to challenge for the grand championship for New Year. All right. So now that we've got all the business out of the way, I truly appreciate all y'all for being here. So let's get to this poetry. All right, I will post the list in the chat. And of course, starting off, as you know, I guess how things normally go in our world, is none other than the Beatty Goddess herself. It is the one and only Deadpan Lizzie. Give it up. What's going on, Deadpan? Always good to see you. Let the good folks know where they can find you, and the floor is yours.
Beanie Blessings community. You can find me on IG, ES_Strauss, and I will drop it in the chat when I'm finished reading and change my Zoom box to my name. I'm going to read from my book tonight, Kundabini. I'm going to read 2 9x9 piankus that fit tonight's prompt. This first one is from March 5th of this year. It's titled One Prompt. Cleaning out their worldly possessions, I come across a child's toy. Digging past the decade-old dust bunnies, mildew, covering the tiny spaces above the attic, I see a sled that you only see in holiday films, but 'tis not red and wooden sled from the 1960s. Wearing cobwebs from the spiders that crawl around in this space, a toy I'm familiar with the one would never speak of, owners of this home, the spirits, particularly ghosty waves. And the final one I will leave you with tonight. It's also 9x9 pianku. It's titled 9 Lines About Strauss. It's from May 7th. It did not hit me until 3:06 p.m. March 7th, 2022. This was real estate. Their memories will forever be a blessing. The bricks that the big bad wolf will never blow down will always be ours. Our hands, a lineage, built this special home, and chocolate mousse, escargot, sour cream, and onion crackers, and more ginger ale than any of our bladders can hold, will no longer empty in the powder room adjacent to the den while we stare at French wallpaper around us. Thank you for letting me read from my book tonight. I have a few author copies available still, and anyone that buys one tonight will get a discount, and I will match any donations to anything happening with Hurricane Fiona victims in Puerto Rico. So thank you.
Yeah.
Unmute yourself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right.
Oh, goodness. Deadpan Lizzie, appreciate you for setting it off in here on this Monday night. Truly appreciate you. Listen, plug into Lizzie. She is doing all kinds of things. She is got her hands in so many different books and different words and different things. So definitely plug in. Deadpan, always appreciate you for coming through and sharing your energy. I appreciate you. Coming up next is the person. Listen, I always appreciate this poet. Again, put me in a room with the great Nikki Giovanni. And if you ever find yourself lost, he can bring you a beacon, which he loves to spotlight. So please, everyone, give it up for the incredible Michael Sendler.
Arr, mateys, arr. As we may know, this is Talk Like a Pirate Day. So if you're in your pirate ship, you should look for that beacon indeed, the lighthousewriters.org. That being said, I'll stop the voice. Also, I was going to do something for the equinox, for the solstice. Yes, for the solstice, but seeing how there is a theme, and I haven't been here in a million years, it seems like I thought I'd just go ahead and do one to the theme. And this is called Grandma's Front Porch, and it's actually based on a picture I saw that was like, wow, that looks just like my grandma's front porch. So I wrote this. Grandma's house had the best front porch. It's still firmly etched in my mind's eye, wide and expansive, with Adirondack chairs against the wall, a swing bench, and an awning over the side steps where folks park to enter, safe from inclement weather. On the far left side was a screened-in sleeping porch, a sanctuary from marauding mosquitoes. Inside this area sat George the Dummy, a scarecrow-like figure Grandma thought was a protection from burglars, though everyone in town knew he was a broken mannequin transferred from Grandpa's dry goods store. A wide ramp was a reminder of Uncle Jerry's last years when, as a wheelchair-bound invalid, he could no longer climb the steps that stretched across the porch. The forest green painted floor, railings, and front door, the gray of the stone pillars and the whitewashed panels of the clapboard facing. I and my brothers and cousins spent so much time there crawling and climbing, hiding and reclining, swinging on the bench, making up 1,000 imaginary situations, rolling down the ramp, bounding down the steps to the yard with its crabgrass carpet and spectacular persimmon trees, fragrant and special and off limits for climbing, circling around the pecan grove, fallen nuts, a feast for squirrels crunching under our feet, scooped up and eaten until we'd had our fill, collecting more in brown paper bags to become pies baked by Minnie, Grandma's unheralded and underappreciated maid, cook, and housekeeper, who single-handedly kept the whole house straight, clean, washed, and orderly, who also fixed and fried and baked and preserved so many meals and sweets and treats that filled my grandma's bulging cupboards and pantry. How many hours did I spend sitting on those green boards, looking up at elders, listening to stories of earlier ages, tales of the old country before they immigrated to America, or the old South between wars. Especially in summer, the porch was the place to gather rather than in the suffocating, humid chambers of the old house itself. Sometimes in sleep, I still find myself there, still looking out across the lawn to the street where the occasional car or truck would pass, windows rolled down, shouting greetings at the matronly but regal matriarch that was my grandma. The house has long since been sold, passing from new family to newer family. Major changes have been made. The magnificent hedge of azalea that once circled the entire structure has been savagely chopped down, leaving the house looking naked without its pink and green petticoats. The persimmon tree's only memories, the pecan grove in its old age, impotent and fragile, no longer produces nuts, but still the trees are elegant as they stretch skyward to the eternal consternation and bewilderment of a new generation of hungry squirrels. No more do little boys and girls run up and down the steps and ramps, squealing and letting loose peals of laughter together as only extended family can. That porch was the center of our lives, sacred spot that united clan. Now it is the soft, treasured memory of grandma and the sweetness of youth and innocence. Okay, thank you very much.
Unmute yourself. Give it up for Michael Sindler.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
Listen, y'all, listen. Stories about grandparents' house, man, they always have such a great place in my heart. They, like you mentioned, even the creaks on the porch, right? The way that the screen door swings, like all those things definitely are key components in your childhood and how you move through life from there. Those stories, oh man, listen, if I could be a fly on that wall to hear some of those stories from the old country, yeah, 100%. Thank you, Michael Sindler. We always appreciate your energy. Really, you are just one of those folks that we always look forward to hearing. So I thank you for bringing your energy to us this evening. All right, coming up next is the man that raises the IQ in every room that he steps in, is probably writing his next mini-series already. Trust me, I've heard some of the things that you do, sir. It is time for our Tez Talk. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Mr. Tezasomo, please let us know where we can find you.
Certainly. Thank you, Mr. Elemental. You can find me on Instagram under Gashes 2019. I dropped a link for this piece that just got published. I'm going to share with you all. I read it a while back when it was first conceptualized, and we're going to dive into it. The Black Body Problem. Scintilla Shores, Georgia, a neighborhood on the edge, at the edge of changing demographics, at the edge of crime, on the edge of disappearing wetlands, straddled between Southern nostalgia and misogynistic existential apprehension, finally on the edge of augury time. The brown paper bag test for automatic banishment didn't start on February 23rd, 2020. It's been there, lingering at the entrance to social functions wherein a brown paper bag was stuck at the door and anyone darker than the bag was denied entry. It's been there with the yellow poplars whose lifespan can be 300 years, longer than the American occupation, whose mixed race children from white masters were given privileges ranging from more desirable work to keeping lighter skinned slaves inside and all others in the fields. It's been there with the arrival of the Spanish in 1568 at the deployment of their genocidal automatic banishment mission system on the Macama First Nation via enslavement and depletion by diseases. So when Gregory Michael, 65, son Travis McMichael, 35, and their handmaid William Bryant, 52, who filmed on his cell phone the killing of 25-year-old Ahmed Arbery, it was nothing more than the continued delusions of Southern white supremacy. 3 white men chased and gunned down a black body. Black is not a color, it's a shade. In physics, something black does not reflect any of the incident light. However, all bodies radiate the frequency of that radiation. The black body spectrum is a function of the temperature of the object and follows Planck's law. Plotting this for a well-known black body, the sun, you get the temperature of T equals 5,237 Kelvin. It is recognized as white, but really it is black. White bodies only appear white when they are illuminated by white light. If you shine red light on a white body, the object doesn't change color, but you perceive it as red. When you look at an object, what you see is the interplay between the color and the incident light and the surface reflectivity. Black bodies have a color corresponding to their temperature. Colder is redder, Planck white somewhere in the middle at 5,500 Kelvin, and a clear blue sky at 10,000 Kelvin. The original problem stated in 1859 by Kirchhoff: how does the intensity of the electromagnetic radiation emitted by a black body, a perfect absorber known as a cavity radiator, depend on the frequency of the radiation, the color of the light, and the temperature of the body. Planck wanted to find a more natural set of units in which G, a similar fundamental constant, are exactly equal to 1. Perhaps an established necessity he inherited from his parental great-grandfather and grandfather, who were both theology professors in Göttingen. The search for unity, or perhaps purity, as expressed by the monotheism of his youth. In 1900, he discovered that energy can only be transmitted in small packets of prescribed size, which he termed quanta. Dr. Edmund Donahue, who performed an autopsy on the 25-year-old, told jurors Arbery was struck by 2 of 3 shotgun rounds fired at him in February after he was chased down by 3 white men currently on trial for his murder, now judged. The first shot at close range tore through an artery in Arbery's right wrist and punched a large hole in the center of his chest. The second shot missed entirely, and the third ripped through a major artery vein, Arbery's left armpit, and fractured bones in his shoulder and arm. The pellet spread like the Heisenberg single slit experiment, where the wider slit doesn't impede the traveling matter, but the tighter slit make a larger scatter pattern, much like it did in Arbery's chest. On November 16, 2021, firearms expert Brian Leppard with Georgia Bureau of Investigation showed the jury a 12-gauge shotgun shell, a type of Rin cylindrical straight-wall cartridge, typically loaded with numerous small pellet-like spherical sub-projectile called quanta. And I'm going to stop here because I know I'm overrunning, but people can catch it on the web page, and you get the sense of where it's going.
Unmute yourself. Give it up for Mr.
Love it.
Nice, nice. That was deep.
Thank you all. And there's a section at the end of this where I had to take out another section because it was already long, but Max Planck's house was bombed by Hitler and he lost all his technical records, and Hitler killed his son because they made an attempt to get rid of Hitler at the end. But so he was also a victim of white supremacy.
Yikes. Oh my goodness. Listen, Mr. Tesasomo, as I said, that dude raises the IQ in every room he walks in. Listen, thank you for the incredible way that you weave history into your poetry and storytelling. You are incredible at what you do. Thank you for being a part of this community. Plug in with Mr. Tesasomo. He runs the Pandemic Poets online group on Facebook. Look into Gaseous 2019. That is the dude to know, let me tell you. All right, coming up next is one of the newest members of the hosting family for the New Eureka Poets Cafe. They have been into a little bit of everything from Twitter to every other social media streaming platform you can think of, and now with the New Eureka Poets Cafe. I like to call her the daughter of Krypton. Give it up for the one and only Finn Bell. Let's go. Let us know where we can find you, and the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Elemen2al. You could find me on Linktree/Finn Bell, and this poem is more home than house. It's called I Am Water. I am seeing everything. I wonder about the moon and tides moving when I rise and fall. I hear the song of kin, vibration, and misery in my ear as I slumber. I see the mountains above head, crystal and destruction looming. I want to be in their company, chant their alien melodies, and dance upon fire knives to their tribal hymn. I am seeing everything. Today, I mystify the lagoons with my movements, mimic the fish swimming, a frenzied pattern in their twin ocean above. I feel the echo in my breast of the bulls emerging, calling out to a mate they do not yet know. I run my fingers over the clinging bubble of coral and call her statuesque, implore the blood, bright algae to let me rename her Rose. I fret all my 5 sisters have consumed life and still do not appreciate its mysteries. I covet the knowing that ignites in their eyes. I weep for the lover I pulled down to the depth of my being, watch the blue of his life abandon him and mingle in the swirling bubbles as he becomes only mine. I'm seeing everything. I accept that to capture his notice, his fickle God affections, I offer my beating heart, my oath, to cleave my body in half so he may settle, wait between feeble limbs and claim dominion upon land and now sea. I proclaim on bruised lips that love is intact and sacred, and mine alone. My sisters tear out their hair mourning, their shrieks deafening. I have fevered dreams now of weightlessness I can no longer summon. I wave as my father blesses the burning orb, embraces her as they sink to familiarity of their haven each night. Goddess Moon arrives and she departs. I attempt to relearn the trickery that keeps my beloved's eyes upon me, the artifice to amuse. He is an explorer in his bones, a conqueror. He collects baubles at every port. Goddess Moon arrives and she departs. I weary of the skin, the stale air shrivels and rejects me, reveals my subterfuge foreign daughter. I repeat my nightly prayer fervent. Close my eyes now tonight, the moon descends, my mother's eyes shining upon the blade. I smile and plunge her mercy into my tide pool. I am at peace at long last, as the fish in the twin ocean join in with their brothers below to serenade me with their wailing lament. I am one with the waves, rushing and receding. I taste the brine of myself and my kin overwhelm me, fill me to bursting, a constellation breathing upon Neptune as he wraps me in my burial shroud. I am seeing everything. I am whole once more. I am home. Thank you.
Unmute yourself. Give it up for
Absolutely.
God damn.
Beautiful.
Wow, beautiful,
All
poem,
right.
beautiful poem.
Yeah.
I like that.
Wow. She said more house than home. Listen, the way that you tell stories and, the way that you put them together, right? It is a structure in every time, right? Every single poem that you put together for all of us, really, it is building a foundation, right? And your walls just happen to sing poetry. So I appreciate you for bringing that to us and for always being a part of this community and bringing your energy to us. We truly appreciate that. All right, coming up next, listen, it's the one and only, all right? There are some people that just go into different scapes, different verses, and this dude is the only one that I know of that has his own verse, and it happens to be a Jedi master. And the only one that I know who is actually in the original New Eurekan Poets Cafe anthology. Listen, if we were in the cafe, I would say, get on your feet for the legendary, the OG, the one and only Jedi Master Skip.
Hey, yo. Thanks for that intro, Elemental. Glad to see you doing the honors here again. Thanks to everybody who keeps coming here. I'm not on theme. This thing's been sitting on the poetry stove for half a year. I'm trying to get to someplace with it. I haven't gotten there yet, but I need to get it up off the page to show me where to go with it. And I'm so glad to be following Finn, because aside from being touched by that, it really gave me some instructions. Emilio Carripio, 16 years old, 3-time convicted carjacker. Melissa Ortega, 8, came to El Norte, risen to her dream. We came in search of the American dream, but instead I get to live a nightmare for the rest of my life. Melissa Ortega's mother. Where do Melissa Ortega's dreams go now, no longer resident in a soul, now purely ownerless, disconnected, purely dream, ungraspable, without a link to this earth? Melissa Ortega's dreams were a promise of life elusive as American society's love, dreams, now a girl's promise, her potential lost to all of time. Our emptiness is the understanding that is now impossible. Flower petals cast upon ocean ebb tide resemble the distance we live from our own promise, a universe we grab fistfuls of emptiness from. Melissa Ortega's dreams yet heal her absence with a sorrow that builds each next breath into permanence of distance to expand through infinity of possibilities that were the promise her life held out to us all. So wrong is the turning point where we are handed gnawing disaster that unhooks taken for granted safety from our own dreams, and we run the gamut of each day, riven from guarantee of freedom to pursue happiness, now randomized by persistent example of instant horror lurking within the carnivorous truth of America. That for the violent, murdering child who severed Melissa Ortega from her dreams, innocence is a light so distant it sends no warmth, a luminosity faint as unchosen tenderness, faint as the missing guidance of love unknown, ungiven, gone like an experience that was never offered, as though on this earth there is no place to stand. In the unphysical place of loss, Melissa Ortega's American dreams, together with her child, murderer's innocence, are the same emptiness, our bewilderment, a subtraction from wanting to get away from unfeeling, the despair of hollow promise. The society that demands children be given up to it in a carnival of unfeeling destructiveness. Murdered child is buried in the ground, murdering child buried in his own lost future. Where does the destruction leave us all but at a failure our maimed social ideal collects us in as the minuscule consequence of our own individual efforts retch with a shame the stars and stripes stand for more than glory. All of America's gunned down children chased out of our future by the demented power brokers whose heart sickness is the symptom of terminal bureaucracy, those who pervert responsibility into the sadism of a soundbite, those who prolong now into endless catastrophe of doing nothing, those who profit is signaled by this death, who meet scandal of being cornered in their irresponsibility by spitting venom and scorn, whose depraved indifference is codified into laws with their humanity hollowed out so all the spit in the world would not wash it off. The next outrage American society inflicts on its own self will once again be the question aloofness does not allow to be asked, as though reality could be split into two parts, one reality for those who feel, one reality for those who are numb. Will there ever be a day on which no one is gunned dead in America? Which America? The one with a price on the right to have dreams? America the brutal, America the deadly. What is that stink in the antiseptic myopia preserved in the American living room? Smell it backwards. America the infanticide? America the unfeeling sociopath? And what is the economic impact on society of one human life whose very life has been incarcerated in violence, whose childhood is another risky place to go after dark? So much of this society is a fucking punishment for being born. No one should ever have to live. That makes us instruments of our own oppression. I ask you now, to walk with me now. I'm going one flight up like into a dream. I'm going one flight up onto the roof now, into the chastening night air. There I will hold myself by my heart open to listen for the soul hungering wander promise of Melissa Ortega's American Dreams. How does suffering become in our hearts so we embrace the struggle of speaking the pain out? Melissa Ortega's dreams are now more our responsibility than ever before. She left her American dreams to us, and we need to live them out. Her wandering dreams point out every change in fortune, graced persistence, all the vacant eyes, each weary slouch, abandoned to America's violence. What really is a dream in America? Something a child must dodge their way to when the truth has been criminalized once again? In America, the gun land that creates heartless monsters living on triggers enabled by heartless monsters who will kill a law that would protect us all like it was a helpless 8-year-old.
Ooh,
Wow.
give it
Yeah.
up. Oh,
That was
yeah.
deep.
Wow.
Man,
That-
man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
Whoa.
Wow.
Ovation.
Listen,
Oh my.
that dude, listen, that cat said one reality for those who heal and one reality for those who are numb. Like, listen, I don't know any other Jedi Masters, but listen, that dude, if he had a lightsaber, he would have just, gosh. Paul Skiff, please give that dude a follow on Skiffgram, paulskiff.com. Listen, that dude's incredible, man. Listen, we'll let the mic cool off for a minute. We'll shout out some folks in the room. Shout out Mia Aguilera for plugging in with us. Appreciate you for bringing your energy this evening. I saw DG Clearing slip into the room. Love having that brother's energy in here. Nancy Helgeson is always plugging in with us. Hopefully one day, if you do have the energy and you would like to, you can share with us. Also, Deadpool. I think one time we saw Deadpool's head, maybe even a Deadpool hand once. Abigail is in the house with us. Good to see you. Haven't been around for a while. Appreciate you for sharing that energy with us. I see the rain is in here. Amanda Villanueva coming in here to check us out. What's good? Appreciate you for coming through. Listen, tonight is already off the charts, of course. And of course, we will get to a few other folks coming up soon. But listen, I want to make sure that we just take a collective breath, because the next poet has a tendency to steal it from folks. All right. So before they get a chance to steal it from you, I would suggest that you take a bit of it for yourself, because the wild card is on deck and you never know what this cat has in store for you. What's good, brother? It's always good to see you, always good to hear you. Let the people know where they can find you, and please give us that work.
I appreciate you, man, deeply. Y'all can follow me at thewithdrawn.com. Scroll all the way to the bottom. You'll find my socials. I'm still on social media, but I still be posting on my site. I don't think I have a title for this. She tells me her mouth is my mouth. So whether I go down and shoot up the club or let it run out on her tongue, it'll still be considered a full house. Baby, let me Mary Kate and Ashley sprinkle in a little of that Stevie Wonder vision. Then, not to our surprise, 5 years later, be in a fuller house position. I'm hoping by that time Netflix finally decides to start streaming adult content. You know that mommy and daddy language ain't limited to just poems. I was thinking of coming for Hulu too, but the line was drawn with talks about having me poo on you. The money might be nice, but I can't put you through that. I already hurt the eyes of friends and family when they get dookie images from me on Snapchat. Want to know the funniest part, in fact? Even my mom and younger sisters be trying to get my ass back. Like, look what I created. But back to you though, Ma, cause I got 9 minutes till we go New York crazy. I think in this time we can get in some saving. After all, it is because of this dick you've been going to bed later lately. But tonight you don't get the D in the after hours. Heard you listening to videos of you fucking my face while I was in the shower. My mouth is to your mouth, so you know how this be. Time to turn my camera off, y'all. About to go eat some coochie. Thank you.
I mean, just so straight up for the
The giggling in the back.
Love
Oh my
that.
God.
He just took it instead in
Dang.
your own direction.
Fire.
I can't get over that, man. That wild. Shit.
Yo, man, that dude, look, you never know. Here's the reason he is the wild card, all right? Call him the Joker if you want. That dude, he will come through and just wreck the whole shop with it. Appreciate you withdrawing. Make sure you give that dude a follow. He never ceases to amaze, man. Let me tell you, never ceases to amaze. Appreciate you withdrawing, truly. All right. Coming up next is a newer member of our community, I believe, thanks to a poet coming up here after this poet. They have definitely come in and made their presence felt. Their background is popping right now. It's in motion, and I definitely appreciate that. Please unmute yourself. This is Beautiful Fire. Please welcome. Thank you for coming back. Let the people know where they can find you, and the floor is yours.
Good evening, everyone. I'm so glad to be here tonight, and you all are beautiful tonight. You can find me at wearegodsimage.com/beautifulfire or at I Am Beautiful Fire across all social media platforms. I look forward to continuing to flame on with each and every one of you. So go ahead and follow me on those platforms. So I have an upcoming collection, and I'm going to be reading a piece from the refined part and also a piece from the passion part. Both of them are very short and sweet. So let's get into it. This one is called Smoking Mirrors. When the house burned down, the home of smoking mirrors we once occupied, there were tangible, valuables that we once cared for, but never cared for us. The foundation of our old house, decrepit no more, gone what all. When the ashes settled, they spelled new. And we knew that would be the inspiration we needed to build anew, to build afresh, bloomed all through. Our new home, foundation strong, inside full of fiery divine truth, full. When invaders came, they found divinity, valuables that cared for us, and we cared for seamlessly. They fled, we grinned from ear to ear, knowing all fire is good, our new home. So that's piece number one from the refined part. And then we have piece number two from the passion. This one is called Motif. A divine home filled with passionate motifs, refined artifacts, unbreakable. With a television that plays our divine destinies over and over. Sincerely, we rest in blissful tranquility, beds which welcome oneness day and dusk, refined artifacts, unbreakable, unshakable. couches which sit company ever so presently, our home, a dwelling of divinity. 4 years of tranquility, we made this house a home, dedicated all within, all throughout, beset, be surrounded by serenity, a house now made a home. Thank you.
Unmute yourself. Give it up for beautiful
Yes.
fire.
Very beautiful fire indeed.
Yes.
Nice.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Listen. Thank you. Thank you for bringing your energy to our space. I think your name is fitting with the way that you weave your fire into that. Like you said, all fire, right? And I really appreciate that, right? Conjuring those things that people sometimes feel are dangerous, right? And turning it into something else. That is what we do as poets. Right. I believe that's part of our superpower. We take things that people are scared of, maybe people that things are sometimes dangerous, and we take them and make them palatable for people to understand. So I appreciate you for your translation and your energy this evening, truly. All right, folks, coming up next is the poet that I mentioned that I believe introduced us to Beautiful Fire. This poet came through and has truly made their mark on our community. This brother's amazing. Please give it up for the one and only Raw James. Please unmute yourself. Let the people know where they can find you. And brother, you have 3 minutes to rock. Floor is yours.
Element, my brother, good to see you and hear your voice. It's good for the soul. It's good for the soul. And my poetic family from NYC, good to see you all. I have a new thought that I just captured an hour ago, and I'm going to bust it out on you guys. Like Withdrawal, it has no name. I don't even know if I'll put a title to it. I'll drop my stuff in the chat afterwards. Anyway, enjoy. It's 11 o'clock. Do you know where your children are? This is Eyewitness News bringing you breaking dreams. Oh, beautiful, for spacious skies, resting in a sweet dream of unicorns and a better tomorrow, while parents drown their sorrows in whining screams. Everything is wonderful today as we no longer live with borders, carefree to roam wherever, whenever, with no papers or mandates, as we hug and sing Kumbaya, knowing everything is right as rain. Wait, that was just a dream. This land is your land, this land is my land. Tears in our eyes as we look through the lenses of hypocrisy. The smile of the righteousness plays judge, presiding over the court, while the sins of the past are now somehow righteous in this dawn. Orders now passe, like the old story, you might have heard of it. The Indians, the migrants, and the turkey. A story of gratitude and celebration. From sea to shining sea, the story of the past that just keeps giving and giving. It's the new light shining brightly from Lady Liberty's torch. Hope for the tired, the poor, the hungry, chasing the dream, the unvetted bust and flown unaware of the chess game. Frontline pawns of this war now spilling into capes and vineyards, progressive talk over lattes until inclusion equals visiting their shores. A state of panic triggers outrage. Because how dare you walk down my main street? But what happened to treating others? Wait, there was a state of emergency. Oh, the land of the free and a home of. I was writing from the memory of a little boy from an island lost in the headlights, who shuffled through JFK along with other huddled, tired, poor, and hungry, to stand in a line with his mother for that little green card of hope. But today's generation now use shame to guilt where the line now starts. No longer necessary to wait years for the green lantern of hope. Immigrants need not apply, for the new line starts at the Rio Grande. All are welcome, just as long as it's not on our main street. That was Eyewitness News. Stay tuned for more breaking news on further stories and sightings of reason, logic, and the elusive common sense. They were kidnapped during the lockdown and have not been seen. Eyewitness News, your portal to something that resembles truth. End of piece.
Ooh, give it up for Ron James.
Wow.
Story right there. Woo!
Come on.
That was amazing.
Always.
Okay, thank you.
Much respect.
Love it.
Slamming.
And listen, that's how you come through with the news that you can use. They broadcast that. You might have everybody tuning in, man. Listen, thank you, Raw, for bringing your energy. Truly, I appreciate you. The community is now even stronger with your energy as a part of it. So thank you for bringing it. We truly, truly appreciate that. All right, coming up next, for those of y'all who don't know, there is this little thing that we got around here. It's called a cult. Maybe you've heard of it. And there is this one crazy poet, man, and he just came up with this thing one day, and now we're in a damn cult. So without further ado, give it up to the one and only cult leader, Jersey Jesus. Let everybody know where they can find you, man. The floor is yours, man. Let's go.
You could find me in the cult, I guess. I don't know. Oops, actually I started a cult or something. I don't know. No, it's really there right there. My name, Real Nick the IG, and that's my name on Facebook and everything. And my birthday's coming up on Friday, so this is based around my birthday. So here we go. 33 chapters. Fingernail growth describes my life perfectly. Slow and easily chewed up, spit up, and swallowed only to be digested and crapped away. The party this year is smaller than the large crowd. Home is decorated with September solemn soliloquies of past achievements that have dust and grime wiped away as the luster of yesteryears. The little notebook of the past is taken out. Chapter 33. Blank page. As I look back at chapter 32, I can't help but smile and shed a tear of happiness. I performed at many places, in spaces I couldn't imagine. Legendary buildings, extraordinary crowds, vivacious cheers from the halls of life itself. Stunning poetry decorates these halls. Phenomenal music distortion heard in the brain. A more brighter future is within the ink. Gone is grief, for now. Gone is trauma, for now. This anointed Jersey Jesus doesn't want to go out at the age of 33. That is when Jesus died, and I have died 1,000 times on crosses before, looking for a home, only to have me build it on my own. My home will house my family, both virtual and in person. You will always be welcome here. We shall journey to new landscapes, paint our inks into the canvas of the night sky. Inspire those wishing to be us. They won't be us. They will be you. The one they have been waiting for. Grow like your own fingernails. Build the confidence. Let's turn sand into water and water into whiskey. Let us be the light of the world. That would be the most beautiful gift you could ever give to me. Happy birthday, Nick. Your family is awaiting for you to blow out the candles, with wishing stars in your breath, and stardust awaiting for your new home to open your doors. I'll drop my info in the chat. Thank you, everyone.
Unmute yourself, give it up.
Happy birthday! Woo!
Happy birthday.
Nick, always.
Happy
Happy
birthday, Nick.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday!
Blessed birthday, always.
Let's
One
go.
of us.
Man.
One of us.
Mr. One of us himself, right? Let's go. Yo, listen, I love when Nick comes through, man. I hope that you have the happiest birthday, Nick. We truly, truly love you and appreciate you, man. Truly, that dude has always just got something cooking and simmering, man, and his energy is always fantastic. Appreciate you for coming through, Nick. Always love having you come through, man, and spit your work. All right, we're gonna take a quick turn real quick. I know Miss Attitude is next, and I'm looking forward to getting to Miss Attitude. However, a friend of ours is in a classroom at the moment, and I believe that they want to just let us know what's going on. So please, if you would unmute yourself and let the people know where we can find you and what's going on, please.
Yo, 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 what's up, all? It's San Diego. Say hello to my English class. Hello, class. Say hello to the New York Poets Cafe. Sorry, I'm not here on Monday nights anymore, but as you can see, I'm a little busy. But I wanted to jump in real quick and let y'all know that tomorrow at 12:30 Pacific, 1:30 Mountain, 2:30 Central, and 3:30 Eastern, we here at San Diego Miramar College will be featuring Advocate of Words and La Bruja as we celebrate National Hispanic Heritage Month. The Hearing Marginalized Voices Through Poetry program has been picked up here in San Diego. So we are going to be bringing that East Coast fire to the West Coast tomorrow. My personal, you all know how to get a hold of me. I'll put it in the chat just in case. If you want to get the Zoom link so you guys can check it out, we'd love to see you tomorrow. So peace, love, and poetry. I miss y'all, and I will see you next time. What's up, class?
Unmute yourself. Give it up for Propaganda.
Hey, class. Bienvenidos, class. Bienvenidos a Loisaida.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, Prop has been all over the place. He has been in so many different places. Now he's, finally found a home in San Diego, teaching at San Diego Miramar College. So congrats on that, man. Love to see you in the classroom, getting down. Truly appreciate you for coming through. All right, now we will get to the one and only Miss Kawana James, AKA Miss Attitude. She is always coming through, ready to snap and clap and bring that, all that. So please unmute yourself, let the people know where they can find you, and let us have it, please. The floor is yours.
Greetings, all. It's a pleasure to be back with all of you. Y'all are my poetry family. I am Kawana James, AKA Miss Attitude. I have 2 short poems for y'all today. One of them I think is on topic. It's about the home that you create in your own head, and it's called Cozy. I am cozy in my skin. I may not be winning, but I'm not losing either. I'm resting here, taking in all that is within and without. And I am comfortable, maybe a little rumpled. That's because I don't like to iron. I am enjoying toying with the idea of fitting in as myself, leaving you to be yourself, allowing us all to be ourselves, cozy in our own skins. That's the first one. The second one is just because people always want to count my coins, and it's called receipts. I wish I could stick your wet finger in an electrical socket, shock you into oblivion, counting my pockets, speculating on me and my living by no means or no means that can be seen, on purpose, because the purpose is to distract with the facts. And while you're busy looking at the facts, I'm living my life and putting on a show that has you wondering, surprised over how I'm living above my means, and y'all, who the fuck asked you opinion? My envious life? Because you're all in my pockets. What are you looking for? I don't keep my money in my pockets. I keep my money in the bank. Peace, Miss Attitude.
Ooh, yourself, give it up.
Hello.
Yes.
Mood is a home, definitely. Mood is a home.
I told y'all from the jump off, it's gonna get dicey in this piece, man. Listen, thank you, Miss Attitude, for bringing all of that energy with you every time you rip. We truly appreciate that. She always just stay on it. I love that. I love that energy, man. Woo! It just inspires me to write and keep going. You know what I mean? Like I truly appreciate that. make sure you plug in with Miss Attitude. Definitely a woman to know. All right, on to a poet who definitely is plugged in with his mix, man. I love hearing this cat, man, because he just goes into the zone. You know what I mean? And the poets who really get down know what that is, right? When you dive all the way in and nothing else is, but what you're doing, that's what this cat does. I always appreciate hearing this cat. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Mon Ami, please. Let the people know where they can find you. The mic is yours.
Can you hear me? Yeah. You can find me on Facebook at Monami Coelho, and my Instagram is Monami Tsunami Coelho, and if Snapchat is Coelho Monami 57, and Twitter is Coelho Monami 1. Yeah. So this song I'm gonna do is called "Written in the Stars." You can hear it, right? Okay. Sorry, press the wrong button.
As long as it's original music.
Yeah. When Shikima told us Joseph was scaring the cab driver, I said he was bullying the cab driver. Then they had a laughter at me. Then I thought I may have said something bad. I did graffiti on the wall. I put Amy Coelho. I have 4 tattoos. I put Ariel Russo on the moon with the demon wolves in the bottom of the t-shirt. I'm in my room
Hey,
looking
Mon
at
Ami,
these
I hate to
art.
cut you off, man, but we can't have the music, the copyright issue, man. You might have to just spit it a cappella. Because of the
Okay.
music being copyrighted, man, we cannot just get involved and get mixed up in that, man. I really hate to cut you off, but if you can start from the top, man, just go a cappella, please.
Okay, it's okay. It's fine. Understandable. When Shakima told us Joseph was scaring the cab driver, I said he was bullying the cab driver. Then they had a laughter at me. I thought I may have said something bad. I did graffiti on the wall. I put Amy Coelho. I got 4 tattoos. I put Air Russo on the moon with the demon wolves in the bottom of my t-shirt. I'm in my room looking at the VCR tapes and vinyl records and all of that. I put on my I hate when people accuse of stealing things t-shirt. I had a nightmare about my mom again. I'm drawing Gohan. Ramon would have pissed off Ashley. She'll go crazy on him like she's in the gym. There will be a grin in her that will make his skin crawl. He'll probably bawl. He'll might need to make a will. Then show and tell us what happened and how it ended for the both of them, and who would blow each other if I said yes to my friend giving me the gun, and who would be bleeding all over the place and telling who and yelling what the hell happened. Susie said my mom will never see I'm a good person, and I prayed more ideas for my artwork. That's it.
Unmute yourself, give it up for Mon Ami.
Yeah, mon ami.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Listen, my apologies for cutting you off midstream, man. But we just got to be careful with the copyright issues when it comes to the music. Not to mention, you know, in the Zoom verse, the music, it can be a tad bit distracting because of the way that Zoom is wired. But listen, spitting your poetry a cappella gives not just us a chance to hear it, but it also gives you a chance to hear it. And that energy is shared and given back. So we truly appreciate you bringing your energy, man. Truly. All right. Next up is a poet who has come through quite a few times. Doesn't always rip, but is always giving energy, showing love to the poets and the poetry. We always truly appreciate that. without further ado, of course, unmute yourself, brother. Let everybody know how they can find you. The microphone is yours. It is good to see you, man. Let's get it.
Yo, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm on Instagram, Ronin Rose, RONINROSE_. I got two quick ones on theme. I got y'all. First one is called "Can I Stay with You?" I might be back tonight or tomorrow, but I'm gone today. The love in the air whispers, please stay. A quarter tank won't get me far. It's enough to find peace. I stay another night, another night, another night until you feel like home to me. And my second one is called Nomad. Home is earth to a breeze, a place to crash. Does the wind travel in groups or is it always alone? An empty couch at a friend's place, the front seat of the car, laid back, playing your favorite tunes. A corner in the house you swore never to come back to, solitude in your sibling's room. The sounds of reflection in an empty house, sounds of ocean waves after lights out. A toxic encounter disguised as a favor. The too much time spent knowing it won't work out. Do I want to go back? Home is when the phone rings. Home is when friends ask about your feelings. Home is when you realize there's nowhere to go, but you don't lose hope. Home is understanding your worth, so when your nomadic soul no longer leaves his home, it stays within, never letting go. Home is accepting love from within. Home is me. I am home. Thank you, guys.
Unmute yourself. Give it up for Rose.
Very,
pieces, bro.
beautiful imagery.
Nice.
Yeah, Ronan Rose.
That was,
Good to
that
hear you
was,
again.
that was a beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
great.
Thank you.
Listen, home, strangely enough, man, sometimes home is found in the strangest of places. You know what I mean? It's not always down familiar roads. It's not always around and amongst familiar people, man. It really can be just found in the craziest places, man. Trust me, I done found family in the mud, literally and figuratively. Appreciate you, Rona Rose, for bringing your energy. Truly, truly appreciate you. Don't be a stranger, man. All right. Now I'm going to throw it over to the producer of the show. You know who he is. You're down with RMT. Take it away, Ron. Let us know what's going on. You got it.
Thank you so much, Elemental. Glad to be here, helping out on the tech end for you. Big kudos to our guest host today. Really appreciate it. You know, Mondays is always working great. And when Advocate can make it, Elemental is helping out. So we really appreciate that. I myself, you can find me at Ron Mark Thompson on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and my organization Bronx Art and Fana at BXAFH. I put that in the chat. And I also put how you can find our guest host today, Elemental, on IG at Elemental2, the poet, they replaced the T with a 2. And I also put his YouTube channel because, you know, YouTube is social media as well. And if you haven't subscribed to his YouTube channel yet, go ahead and subscribe. Every week he puts poems there, poetry, you know, so it's very powerful. We really appreciate your Elemental. All right, coming up next is somebody who I believe we met the first time last week, or at least we've heard from you the first time last week. Lady Siren, I believe you also sang for us, so I'm so happy you have returned. Lady Siren, please introduce yourself to those who may have not yet met you, and then go ahead with your 3 minutes.
Thank you so much. Peace and blessings, y'all. My 9-year-old who should be getting ready for bed is clapping in the background. Go brush your teeth and put your stock cap on, please. Hey, y'all. This is V, PKA, poetically known as Lady Siren. I am from Philly, and I am self-proclaimed a perfect blend of feminine and fire. And we just gonna go ahead and get into this piece. And I guess I did sing for y'all last week. I'm not really a singer, y'all, but yeah, y'all gonna get this poem. So I'm not over you, not over you, but but I'm over feeling, but I'm over, I'm over, but I'm over feeling shades of blue, blue. Ones that never match sun-kissed skies, but I'm over it, over feeling, I am over feeling shades of blue, painted, covered, bruised in blue shades, shades that I could drown in. So many muted colors, we lost and found each other in once more, like a cycle that keeps spinning but refuses to rinse. So I was convinced that only the colors were washed, not the fibers of our being, because you could never rid me of your mark, nor you of mine. Ill-fated we may be, but faithfully threaded together like interwoven love lines over what I'm sure has been several lifetimes. Can I tell you a secret? I'm not over you, not over you. I think I've taken your virginity more than once. Like with each rebirth, you grow through your adolescent years looking, waiting, longing for me, fully aware I'm out of your league, but your heart's what spoke to me, further disarming my defenses with your humor, and I laughed right into the crooks of your arms, and you felt like home. Like I've been here before, like I knew this feeling, like I knew your being inside and out, and all that mattered was here and now. But memories are just vague pictures of our past, not a comfort I could tuck myself in, not a moment meant to last. Because for us, love is a forbidden location hidden away in the reality of our circumstance, like tear-soaked sheets you've disregarded me in. The very same sheets our souls met, mingled, and mated in, bore life to our merged essence, and still, even now, I'm not over you, not over you. But I am over it, over feeling, being painted, covered, bruised in blue shades. I said, I am over feeling shades of blue, blue. Thank you.
Everyone, please unmute yourself. Give a big round of applause for Lady Siren.
That was beautiful.
Beautiful voice.
Moments, expression,
Awesome.
I needed that.
How you doing? Just
That was beautiful.
Fire, fire,
Oh,
fire.
good.
Thank you.
Feminine and
Thank you.
fire.
See everyone.
Fuego.
You have a nice voice.
Fuego.
Yes, oh my God, Lady Siren, I am so glad you found us online. I hope last week we did do the chant that Nick P started, that you are one of us now, and I'm glad. And I hope your 9-year-old waited to brush their teeth before until you finished your powerful, song/poem. Though, please keep coming back. We love the powerful, poems that you bring. Please keep coming back and put in the chat. Let us know again how we can follow you. Thank you so much. All right, before I hand the mic back over to Elemental, I'm going to introduce the next poet as well. I also want to apologize. I got two poets in the chat privately informed me that my connection broke up a little bit. It's because I'm controlling the live stream on the other hand, which usually Advocate of Host, our regular host, does, Advocate of Words, but I'm helping out today on the back end with this. But so if I break up, I apologize, but this is why Elemental is our host. And he actually, looking at his background, he is at the New York Poets Cafe. I didn't know he was in New York City though, so I always love when he comes with his wonderful Zoom background, so I really appreciate it. But coming up next is somebody I believe who is joining us from the UK. And Clive, correct me, you actually were in New York City last weekend at the New York City Poetry Festival. I saw you briefly, like when you were at Camlin's booth, I believe so, and I did miss an event that you were in afterwards. But Clive, please reintroduce yourself. I don't know if this is your first time on Monday with us, but introduce yourself to everyone, and then the floor is all yours. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, it is my first time on a Monday here. I'm Clive Oseman. You can find me on Facebook as Clive Oseman, and just to be different, I'm on Instagram as Oseman Clive, because, you know, that's how I roll. And someone actually broke into my apartment, and they didn't steal anything. They just switched the letters F and P on my keyboard for a joke. And this is what happens when F and P change places. This poem, if that's what it is about nothing in particular, just various bits and pieces. I don't like to start with politics, a peeled pull of fistfots and fanatics who couldn't organise a fiss-off in a brewery, and in the case of UK immigration policy, responsible for plenty of fatalities, though I'm sure they will be reported favourably by Fox News and its British equivalent GB News with Nigel Farage and his friends. So let's be more pliffant and talk about sports people like Feet Sampras, famous people from the past like Napoleon Bonaparte, or even contemporary people like the unfortunately not yet dearly departed Piers Morgan, or Katie Hopkins, who always seems like she's paused a pineapple off her bum. Yeah? Okay, let's talk music. You may have an eclectic taste ranging from the Pooh Fighters through offerers like the Magic Pollute, old British hits like XTC's Making Flans, Poor Nigel, I'd poison them, wartime classics like Fuck Off Your Troubles, Beatles classics like I Peel Pine, festive songs like A Partridge in a Pear Tree, or even some frog rock. I wish I was musical. I'd go on tour entertaining the pee-faying public in places like Finland, Portugal, France, and probably New Poundland. But enough of that. Let's talk food. I'm not sure what to eat today. Roast fork and applesauce, or fish and chips. And if fish and chips, do I have pickled onions or mushy peas? Or do I have a fucker steak and kidney pie? I'm not saying I eat too much food that's unhealthy and patterning, but my clothes are size trifle XL. Feet of five for fictor feck up fickle feathers. What? Plagiarism? Puck up. Or I'll funch your lights out. Oh, appended are we? I pray you don't call the felice, the coffers, the pilth, the figs, pock the felice. Oh, come on, I was joking. I wouldn't really funch you. I don't approve of fisticuffs or violence of any kind. I'm a pacifist. My house has patio doors. It's a big house. It's rather palatial, with a games room for fool and fing-fong. Okay, I'm taking the feast. I live in a folky little flat or apartment if you prefer, among the pheasants. And I'm probably stuck here until the Grim Reaper comes calling. Whatever a reefer is, I wouldn't know. Thank you.
Oh, unmute yourself and show clap over some love.
The Green Reaper.
That was awesome.
Love it.
Love it.
The Green Reaper is the coolest thing I've heard today.
Fuck the police. Oh
So
my
good. So good.
goodness. Listen, if I didn't know that you were in the UK, sir, I would probably say, like I say to most people, you have truly messed up, sir, and you should be here every Monday night because, as you heard the crowd, you are one of us. Who thinks of something like that? They switched F and P. They pucked the police. Are you kidding? Oh my gosh, that's gonna be with me for a while, sir. Thank you and welcome to the Monday Night Circus. Whew. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Also, really quick, everyone, please unmute yourself and give it up for Mr. Ron Mark Thompson.
Yeah.
Ron Mark.
Appreciate you, Ron,
Tech
for
whiz.
all that you do for everyone. Truly, you really make these things go with all the gusto that we needed to go in, to go in the right direction for all of this energy. So I truly appreciate you for all that you do. Before we get to the next poet, I do want to shout out a few more folks who came in the room also. Shout out to Ron Bremner. I know he's coming through. He shared his work with us before, and hopefully we get a chance to hear him again. Our Georgia Peace, Andy Markert, stepped in the room. Always appreciate that dude coming through. Of course, the host of the Thursday night online open mic, Ray Jane, the queen herself, is in the building. Anytime that you need more therapy in your life in the form of poetry and Monday doesn't do it all for you, Thursday is where you can find yourself with the queen, Ray Jane. I call it Thunder Lung Thursdays. Also, Storm God's in the building. Paul Conqueso is in the house. Also, the host of the karaoke after party from Hybrid. Listen, Claudia is in the building. Appreciate you for coming through, always sharing your energy. Professor Platinum, oh my gosh, listen, anytime Doug Silver comes, man, we doing things in a higher frequency, man, for real. I truly, truly appreciate everyone who has come through. Catman, Bill in the building, truly, truly appreciate y'all. All right, coming up next is a poet. I believe they've come here, a couple of times only, but their work it's one of those that you always look forward to hearing. So please, I am asking to unmute Casey Trich. Welcome back. Please let the good folks know where they can find you online, and the mic is yours. Welcome.
What's up, everybody? I put my Instagram in the chat. I've been doing a lot of dancing lately on my Instagram, so if you're into dancing, go check it out. Happy to be here. Yeah, this is like my third or fourth time here. So I haven't read this aloud yet. It doesn't have a title. We'll go with Coming Home to Desire, and it'll feel good to say it. So here we go. Spilled some wine on myself earlier. That was fun. Dripping with desire, full of fire, dirty, delicious, a garden of delight, depth to creatures monstrous and majestic, a sea of intensity, yearning, burning, needy and desperate, defeated, pleading, hoping, renewed, bursting at the seams. I peeled away layers to reveal a sunbeam of love, absorbing, performing, believing and brave. I am the bounty of you, the wish, the cure, the peace, the rest, thoughtfully strong, a wild horse saddled by freedom. And oh, the rapture of these sighs, crying out unimagined possibilities. Call out my name. I am here. I am here. I am here. Electric, 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 awake, alive and divine. Standing still, an army of attractive angels surround us, possessed by the presence of peace. Come hither. We are kingdom come.
Unmute yourself. Give it up for Casey.
Yeah.
That was nice. Possessed by the presence of peace. Beautiful.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I truly appreciate how each of us uses energy in such different ways, you know, and we still conjure such emotion, such depth in what we do. And you just remind me of that with your work. And I appreciate that truly for you coming through and bringing that level of energy, that level of dedication to your work. The energy definitely comes through. I truly, truly appreciate you for being here with us. All right. Coming up next is I believe this may be your first time. I am not sure. Okay, it is your first time. And let me just say before I mute this poet here, when your queen was getting down, it was your reaction that we saw. So I appreciate you for plugging in like that, right? For singing along with her, for getting down like that. I am looking forward to what you do and how you do. When you sit next to femininity and fire, you have to be earth and steady and rock and fluid and flowing. So I know you got it. I appreciate you for coming through tonight. Brother, unmute yourself. Let the people know where they can find you. Welcome to Monday Nights. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, this is only my second time here, first time performing. My name is Nick Austin. I go by the stage name Bars. You can follow me on Instagram at Nick Austin Poetry, all one word, Nick Austin Poetry. I'll also put it in the chat after I'm done with my performance. I'm gonna get right to it. This poem is called Sacrificial Poet. For fractured poets who have considered never competing again after receiving a low score in a poetry slam, / when the open mic is enough. Is there anything more gut-wrenching than spilling your guts on a stage until all 22 feet of your small intestine are wrapped around the stand of the microphone and you can barely stand but all the lights are on and both your legs are trembling with the inside of your boots resembling an 8.6 on the Richter scale? Because you know that as an artist, we don't get to fail in public because it just might lead to our passing in private. Is there anything more deafening than a crowd rewarding your sacrifice with silence? Deciding which poems to use in a slam is akin to cutting yourself open and choosing which organs to offer to strangers for their approval. Like, how can you have 10 of my ribs in possession and still give me a 7? If I throw in my pancreas, there's no way it gets lower than an 8, especially if I throw it on the plate. And heck, if I toss in both kidneys, they might just do. But if I add in my colon, I don't think I can stomach anything lower than a 9.2. And you know what? Since I had my appendix removed as a kid, that's one of the organs that I can never use again. So maybe if I cut out my one heart and place it on the side where it used to reside, the combination of the 1 and the 0 will produce a 10. These are the parts of me that everyone else hardly sees, but so many few never do. I love both my parents, but those two never knew about my painkiller addiction, and they still don't. But one of my most common fan requests that I always get is, hey, when you gonna spit that pill poem? And when you're done, I want you to spit that one where you're crying. I don't actually want you to kill yourself, but I want you to spit that one about trying. After all, what's wrong with cutting your stitches to reopen wounds in an open room where even if they give you your flowers, you still have to hope they bloom? I'm surrounded by judges, and not justified who justify if I get to stay alive, if I get to survive. This whole world loves the prosecutors, so I guess that makes me the defendant. I did the crime. I mean, I wrote the poem, but unlike a real courtroom, I don't get a chance to defend it. Am I not entitled to a fair trial by a jury of my peers? I will not be bridled by a bare smile when the fury reappears. I don't need that feedback when you faking friendly. You know me for my poetry, but I've been distancing myself socially long before COVID made it trendy. Had my face behind the mask before and after the panoramic broke. Poetry has always been my antidote, so no, you don't get to judge me. And I'd love to see you attempt to hold me in contempt, because when it comes to these hands, no one is exempt. Let's see you stand in this spotlight and not fight about every last aggrieving score they give you. Because I know a heavy poem could be heartbreaking to listen to, but it's even more to live through. Thank you.
Shit, give it up for
one of us.
Yeah, what they said.
Because you have to be here every month. Oh, listen.
Bro.
Listen. That cat said you got 10 of my ribs and gave me a 7. Come on. Listen, if you've ever slammed that right there, that's heavy, man. Appreciate you for coming through, Bars, and the synergy with you and the Queen, man. Listen, we truly appreciate that energy, man. That slam stuff, man. Listen, he said when the open mic is enough. Look, poetry is heavy, man, in those competitive spaces. All right. So I appreciate you bringing that energy too, right? To give people a kind of an idea of how that goes, right? Because you actually bleed on those slam stages. and they just give you, it's not the best thing I've ever heard in my life type stuff, right? But in this space, man, this is where the actual healing happens, right? Because you can actually share the things that are meaningful to you and get the response from it that you truly need from it. So listen, you are welcome in this community. Please come through whenever you get a chance. That means every Monday night. Plug into this cat so everybody can stalk this dude and remind him on Sunday, say, hey, it's time to sign up for New Year. All right, appreciate y'all. Really, really appreciate you for coming through. All right, coming up next is a poet that just, listen, I see this cat and he hangs around, man, and it's just like, I know there's some diabolical poetry going on in this brain, and I can't wait to open it up and see what comes out of it, man, for real. Please unmute yourself. Let the people know where they can find Mr. Jeff Taylor, and the floor is yours, please.
Thank you, Elemental. Yeah, this poem is called Lamp Worn, and you can find me at the Garage Poets Open Mic. I host every Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We got Unmesh Mohiktar as our feature this week, so definitely drop on by and be an open mic after Unmesh. Yeah, so this poem is kind of like each day is an episode of the TV show of your life, and like each season of that show is kind of like a different version of yourself, which is kind of like related to the theme of home in the sense that like different versions of yourself are like different homes that you're living in that part of your life. So here we go with this. Your next self will be the bookcase where you shelve all your previous selves. It will be easier to pick up the phone. An audacious voice will convince you Ted Danson's hairpiece is an AI programmed to make all your decisions. In the next episode, cigarettes will taste like everybody knows your name. There are plot devices unfolding that haven't been revealed yet. In the coming episodes, memories will gurgle from the recesses of your cacophony. Your subconscious will manifest a potentiometer. Field operatives will tamper with your belongings. There is a meal set out for a crew. Box lunch with wax apples. The bathroom doors are locked. No one's really sure who these freelancers work for. In your next life, you will watch reruns of Cheers on your phone on your commute from work. The digits that will conjure most like muscle memory have started seeping into the definitions of the episode you are currently living. The numbers carry within them the ability to evoke a pattern that will bounce around the trepidatious twitchings of this cartoon you seem compelled to draw yourself into. In the coming days, the dream you've been handcuffed to will show itself to be adjacent next season's intrepid jackals. In the next episode, rapid eye movement will increase to the point where Ted Danson's hairpiece will break free of its programming. Lamp worn, shadows and glue, arched over your brazenly unaware presence, radiating the confused frustration of malignant singular focus, yelling, Norm, Norm, come back to your stool, Norm. You know we will find you. Thanks, that one is Lamp Worn. Yeah, I'll drop in the chat there. Come by the Garage Poets Open Mic every Friday night.
Here, Jeff.
Jeff Taylor.
Love it.
Wow. Yo,
Thank
I
you.
appreciate
Thank you.
coming through with that, man. You know, sometimes you just want to go where everybody knows your name, right? Come back to the stool, Norm. Appreciate you, Jeff Taylor. Listen, it just sounds like a great story, man. Like, you know what I mean? Again, you know the story, you just plug in different things, man. Listen, I love weaving in pop culture and different ways that people connect to stories, man. So I love that. Those characters are meaningful to people, man. When you tell those things, conjure those spells, man, people plug in. So I appreciate you. Make sure you're giving Jeff Taylor a follow, a mainstay in the community. We truly appreciate your energy. All right, coming up next, they just turned their camera on. Listen, I remember this poet coming through, and I am looking forward to what they bring this time. So please, if you wouldn't mind, unmute yourself. Hannah, welcome back to the Monday night open mic. We look forward to hearing what you have to say. Let the people know where they can find you. And please, the mic is yours.
Yes, thank you. Hi, my name is Hannah, and tonight I'll be reading from my poetry collection, Decomposition. I actually don't have any art-specific social media. I mean, I have like a couple personal ones, but I don't really use those too much other than to, I don't know, watch some people I'm interested in. But nothing to share as of that. But if you're interested, you can find the collection as an ebook or a print book. Did all the designing and stuff myself, and that took a while, but there is absolutely no pressure. And so with that, I'll get started with a poem called Sorrower. I was so devastated to lose you, although I do not think I was one of the few whose survival comforted you when the time came. How did the time come? Was it silent, quick, soft, warm? Or was it too cold, too loud, too oppressing, too much for your gentle heart? Was it that the party got stale, the jokes got old, and you were tired of our oil slick self-indulgence and the way we were forgetting you, so you could no longer wait for your own hour to leave? Or did something that promised a richer life, peace, quiet, and nourishment call you to paradise? Would you mind coming back for me? Have they given you the power to absolve? Bless me, brother, for I have sinned, or I may have sinned, or I may have fraternized with those who sinned against you. Maybe forgetting is all that's needed for forgiveness. My penance is to never speak of you. I shall carve out my tongue, for it has sinned against you. My eyes that refuse to look at you will be torn out and thrown away. It is better to live without sight or speech than to sin again, or spend my eternity writhing in the burning agony of losing you. And then second poem to get through quickly is called Dystopia. Dystopia is a word for a person living alone, dancing with the phantoms, laid out on the living room floor, stretching towards heaven, howling lonely for the moon. If I were a madman, I will surrender to the fever, sit in the streets, draw my dress against my knees, pull up my skin until I look sick and tell my story. No longer in the view of the world, no longer reflected in their eyes, no longer knowing who I am, the phantoms are beginning to take a hold of me. Life is beginning to lose meaning. Watch me as I run through the fields, dig into the earth and scream. The ground beneath me is shifting. The reaper wants to pull me in before midnight, alone with nothing left of me but my body, a sorry thing, lying twisted in despair. My phantoms want to lead me down the path of destiny. They whisper in both ears, soft and longing. They enshroud me in warm and brisk. The sun does not rise, so I sleep. The night spectacle, parts of a whole, mangled beings envelop me until all my nightmares were filled with the beast, being beaten by them. And all my dreams were filled with the beasts, being loved by them. Yes, so thank you all for giving me the stage to share. Very hot and feeling a bit, I don't know, shaky right now, but it's great to be in the company of you all.
Unmute yourself, give it up for Hannah.
Yeah.
Beautiful,
Not you snapping.
beautiful words.
Beautiful words. Thank you so much.
Wow, we truly appreciate you enduring the conditions to share your incredible work with us. Congratulations on the book and doing the artwork in it. I know that's not an easy task, but when you see it come to life, it's all worth it. So congratulations. Thank you for coming through this evening and sharing your energy with us. We truly appreciate it. Listen, we are coming down the wire, rounding the stretch. I truly appreciate all y'all for hanging out with us this evening. Really, the energy in the room is just, it continues to build with all of you incredible poets. I truly appreciate y'all for hanging out with us. Coming up next is a mainstay of our community, a soon-to-be father again. This dude continues to show us that you can do multiple things with a dinner table other than just eat on it. He's getting more active on social media too. I'm seeing the work that he's putting in, so I appreciate that. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the one and only Rich Daddy Glidden. Welcome, man. Always good to see you. Let the people know where they can find you online. Let's hear your incredible work. Floor is yours.
Thanks, Elemental. Rich Glidden on Tumblr and Instagram. I'll throw in the chat afterwards. Just going to read two short poems. Two short poems that I wrote pretty recently. This one is called Lightning. All right, lightning. As a sapling, it must have been struck and then grew and grew because it had no choice. Months and years it spent going sideways, straying from the trunk of its youth when it kept itself together. Strings of dry days righted it skyward. Then it would storm because it had no choice, and another dent would form as it grew away obliquely from history, bent as the veins on a backhand. And the second piece is called Paths. Before paths, there were gaps, fissures made by others who are too far to see now, but have left behind their idea of varnished air parting the tangle, inviting you and you and you to come through here. That's all for me. Thank you.
Unmute yourself. Give it up for Rich Glidden. Woo!
Daddy, always the master of metaphor. Beautiful.
Rich Glidden, always a pleasure to hear your work, man. Really, you give everyone hope that you can do so many things in so many different ways and still find time to write incredible poetry. So I appreciate you, truly. Blessings to the family, the babies. Truly, we truly appreciate you and all the energy that you bring to our community, truly. All right, coming up next is a cat. Listen, like if there was ever a cat who should be named Wordsworth, it's probably this dude right here. I think he's been taking classes with Mr. Tesasomo, really, because he likes to raise the IQ of the people around him. The one and only Mr. Messiah. Please unmute yourself. Let the people know where they can find you online. The floor is yours. Please bless us with that work.
Thanks, Elemental. My name is Messiah. You can find me on Instagram at Messiah Lorence. I'll put it in the chat when I'm finished. And I have one short poem to read. It's called Beset on All Sides. I seek to measure the divisible teleology of consciousness, the oblique veil precluding unity of self from the instinct to eternity. Yet my unformed soul deforms this passage to everlasting gnosis. For it is a consciousness beset on all sides of being. In this archaic resistance, I ask, how aware am I of myself, or this otherness which imputes ignorance with a force that undermines my self-completion, a disequilibrium of constant integrity? Were I to complete this degradation of consecrated thought, beyond which is the bliss of inseparable discernment, I might eradicate the old impediment to which I am born, the ancient stasis upon the deep mind of infallibility, to which knowledge as moral construct has no meaning, and the self-distortions withholding my cognition from the world soul, which is one breath, one life, are dissolved. A wound that is my own finitude besmirching my solution to distant immortality would be mended, and my cup, my body, will become as full as a newly born sun in a newly born galaxy. Thanks a lot, guys.
Unmute yourself. Give it up from Messiah.
Awesome.
Amazing.
Man, that dude.
Love it.
So beautiful, so powerful. Deep.
I told you that dude has been taking day classes with Mr. Tesasomo, man. Like they stretch it really. I heard a piece once that the average person has a vocabulary of about 2,000 to 4,000 words. Shakespeare had a vocabulary of 20,000, right? When I hear people like Messiah and Mr. Tesasomo, it makes me remember that I have work to do. Thank you, Messiah, for coming through, for bringing that energy, man. Really, I truly appreciate you. A mainstay here at the Monday Night Online Open Mic. Definitely always appreciate when that cat plugs in. All right, coming up next is one of the newer members of our community. Looking forward to what they have this evening. Their smile is always lighting up the screen. They're sharing their energy with us this evening, and I truly appreciate that. Please unmute yourself, Miss Marianne. Let the people know where they can find you online. The floor is yours, please.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Elemental, poets, and friends. My name is Marianne Teft. You can find me online by my name. And I'm a poet and a lyricist who daylights as a Montessori teacher on the Dutch Caribbean island of St. Martin. And I'd like to welcome you to my house with a little welcoming poem. Is it true, love, you have never seen the ocean? You come from an ancient land, locked away from the sea, where the first hunters roamed in waist-high grass and climbed for days to the tops of cloud-wreathed mountains. Now you stand on the sand of a new land, birthed from ancient volcanic hips, cradled in the waves where the first fishers dove through spindrift to forage plains of turtle grass. Is it true, love, you have never seen the ocean? Run beside her with languid steps, outracing footprints indelible, only for the time between the crests that endlessly erase the shore? Seen the sun tease the horizon, strewing rubies and diamonds that dissolve into the sea with a flash of phosphorescent green? Is it true, love, you have never seen the ocean? Plunged beneath the waves to bathe in a timeless caress and leap through the surface with a smile effervescent as you raise your chin, your mighty locks fling prismatic water fans into the luminous moonset? Is it true, love, you have never seen the ocean? Here you will write wind-swept poems, breathing in salty exhalations of our restless mother. By night the stars will crown my hair, candelabrum around my head, shining on our table in the sand where we dine on each other. Long and lingering feast as Aldebaran and Rigel arc across the sky and the waves kiss our bare feet. Is it true, love? You have never seen the ocean? Thank you.
Unmute yourself.
Beautiful
Give it up.
That was
Marianne.
Beautiful.
So beautifully
Love
written.
it.
Beautifully written.
Oh my goodness. You know, it's storytellers like that, right? That captivate audiences by their senses. You know what I mean? It's like a comfortable little conversation, but you're just so, you know, pulled in by it that you can't move a muscle. I appreciate you for bringing that energy and putting it into your poetry. We truly appreciate you. Thank you for coming through. Definitely give her a follow. She is definitely becoming a mainstay of our community. Thank you again. Coming up next is a poet every time I hear this poet, he reminds me of a chef. I don't know why, but he reminds me of a chef with words, and the way that he cares about words and the way that he crafts them and cooks them into his poetry reminds me of a chef. I just don't, I don't know. So please unmute yourself. Please, everyone, give it up for the one and only Generalissimo. Please let the people know where they can find you. The mic is yours.
I'm going to put all that info in the chat afterwards, and I'm going to just go ahead and start because my first poem is dedicated to our queen who recently passed away, and it was published in the online humor British poetry journal called Spilling Cocoa Over Martin Amis, and has been nominated for a Best of the Net Award. It's called The Queen's Secret Siberian Sisters. Queen Elizabeth of England was recently sold for $75. She was dressed in a conservatively tasteful Savile Row hand-tailored off-white dress, accented by a blue sash, her signature heirloom pearls, and a jeweled crown. I wonder if whoever bought her placed her in the center of a mantle to the left of a set of unnested Russian nesting dolls lined up from small to large at the end of the mantle, and to the right of Aunt Gladys's Pride and Joy collection of ceramic roosters no one wanted, but now is a point of pride in the owner's home. In the middle of the night, when all the tchotchkes come to life, a la Night at the Museum, the nesting dolls try to teach Liz how to dance. They humor her every night when she can't get it quite right. Liz doesn't mind when one of her instructor babushkas asks to try on her pearls or crown, because they treat her like a normal person, not an overprivileged royal. When they invade the vodka in the liquor cabinet, the sturdy Siberian women are surprised a queen can drink them under the table. Liz's new claim to fame is that she has trained all the roosters to perform tricks as if they were her corgis. The Russian gals tease Liz that one day they'll make soup from the roosters, but then they say, "We never eat because we are hollow Weber-shaped balsa wood street souvenirs, and you are a Bobby doll." And my next poem, I will give credit where credit is due. I wrote it this past weekend in Paul Concaso's workshop. When you have a workshop and the workshop facilitators do the job that make you think of something good, you should always give them the credit. This is called I've Fallen and Can't Put Myself Together Again. When my heart breaks, it shatters like a sliding glass door, slowly fracturing into different sized bits, each falling separately inside my body. It's the job of my soul to sweep up errant fragments with a dollar store whisk broom and dustpan, then epoxy shards into a new heart that will be incomplete and need to regenerate particles who never found their way into the dustpan. My new heart will have learned lessons, but have new parts that will make old mistakes, that will lead to another heartbreak, and another newly epoxied heart, and another heartbreak, and another new heart, and so on and so forth. And such is the way of the heart. Gracias, everyone. My next Cafe Generalissimo will be on the 3rd of October, Monday, the 3rd of October. I'll put all the info in the chat for you. And thank you very much, Elemental. You're doing a wonderful job hosting. And thank you, Ron, of course, because you're Ron and you do so much more than people give you credit for.
Thank you, Generalissimo. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Generalissimo. Yes.
And thank you. I want to say thank you to Paul as well. And thank you to Amanda, who has a wonderful workshop on the 1st of every month. And if she's present, I will always mention her workshop because it's fantastic.
Love you, General.
I'm telling you, what else? I'm telling you, it's a chef, right? He even brings it out. It's like, I made this specially for you because you're such an incredible person. I'm telling you, I only know chefs that do that. And the only chef that I know in poetry, Generalissimo. Thank you for coming through with all your tasty morsels of poetry. You always seem to have something to stave the hunger of poetry in everything that you write, Generalissimo. I appreciate you. All right, couple more poets to go. Listen, this next poet one of the newest mainstays of our community, recently had a feature and brought the kind of energy that really just reminds me, and I believe it reminds a lot of people, why this poetry is as powerful as it is. This poet continues to conjure weather patterns in what he does, and he brings the kind of energy that you need to conjure such storms. So please unmute yourself, give it up for the one and only Zonkoto.
Thank you so much. Thank you, all of you, for all your powerful and soothing poems. It's a blessing to be with you every time. Thank you, Elemental, for all the encouragement. You don't even know, behind the scenes, you have been more than a brother to me. I appreciate that. I wrote this one. I do not know what kind of sleep a house should promise, but I know that even when one is homeless, they still build a house underneath their skin, whose walls are so warm they keep the temperature right for the blood within. The skin becoming a roof over your head, tightening around you with no address but yourself. To have no foundation but a daydream, no pillows but clouds, but trusting that somehow, someday, a little rain might come your way, not to leave you cold and not knowing where to go, but for when you are standing over the foundation, where you are building a house brick by brick in your soul, and it rains just to make the ground hold. Because everyone desires a home. Even caskets have occupants that cannot put their gratitude into words. Some died gasping at the beauty of how their new home will be carried down streets paved with gold and jewelry, to be placed into vaults where it must take the underworld at least twice the time to retrieve their wretched souls. Because everyone desires a home. Even some scared little girls standing over the incomplete foundation of new condos left abandoned like used condoms under the two large pillars she currently calls house, with a street acquired spouse who loves to stand in between those pillars as if he is Samson, a man with a killer's eyes who has now become her Delilah in disguise. That scared little girl standing over this foundation, building a house brick by brick in her soul, letting him and this methamphetamine take control, mapping out the sink for dishes that belong to suppers not rushed, washing each one of them like a baptism, knowing that tomorrow she will crash after the methamphetamine, but hoping that it's on a bed and not those ambulance ones dead. I do not know what kind of sleep a house should promise, but government housing did promise. But the waiting list is like the devil's fist punching you to the back of the line. So you're back to square one, back to the first brick, because no one tells you that building a house brick by brick inside your soul also means storms, hurricanes that will strike in the soul with such force they leave holes in the clothes. And as you scramble into the coffee shop to keep warm, you find that not a single soul is trained in the art of bringing strangers home. In a world where houses have become fortresses for our own internal wars, everyone desires a home. Even ants that build it grain by grain into molehills, only to have the devil level it like controlled demolitions, dilapidated buildings where some unknowns will go missing. An ant-man here, a dead ant-man over there. Those who had superpowers, but they were just too small for the world to care. Those always so close to finishing their houses inside, brick by brick in the soul, but will probably be found dead under collapsed bricks, like that scared little girl. Thank you.
Unmute yourself. Give it up for Zone Koto.
Wonderful.
Forever
piece.
favorite.
Wow.
Forever favorite.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Tell you. This dude, I'm telling you, every time I hear this poet's work, man, he really just, he digs in, right? And it's that kind of energy, man. It's that type of infectious energy that he spreads. Likewise, brother, offline, you have really helped to inspire me and continue to, juggle these flames that we do. So I appreciate you for taking time out of your crazy life and crazy schedule for sharing that energy here with us. A mainstay at the Monday night online open mic, Zone Konto. Make sure you plug in with that dude. Give him a follow. All right. And our closer this evening is the author of the Chameleon Chronicles. Seen images. She was recently at the New York Poetry Festival. The one and only Terry Rose Jertson, right? One of the Jersey Trinity. Let the people know where they can find you online and let us hear that fire. The floor is yours.
Thank you. I couldn't unmute. Okay. Well, just want to say, Zone Konto, that poem was just hitting because that's a big problem around here. The housing is really terrible, and there's a lot of people that need housing. That's all I'm going to say about that. Okay. So I've tried to do the theme. This was, I already wrote this another time, but it fits right in. Here we go. The skunks were having a territorial dispute with a few of the neighborhood cats. I was dead asleep until I wasn't. I was not roused by any sound, but by a scent. My house is very poorly insulated. If there is an odor outside, it may as well be inside. You get the idea. From the second floor back room that was recently my son's bedroom, I had lit there, fell asleep watching Netflix. But from my sound sleep, suddenly my nostrils flared, and I caught the scent of what must have been a family of skunks that moved in below my front porch. The house quickly filled up with the fog of the defense mechanism of these far from helpless creatures. Evacuate! Evacuate! Get out of the house! I'm choking! I can't escape! My eyes are tearing. I'm coughing. I ran out the front door with my car keys and drove to the Wawa on the corner. I pulled into the parking lot and the man immediately came up to my car, waving his hands. I got out of my car and he asked me, "Are you my Uber?" And peace.
Unmute yourself. Give it up for Terry.
Storytelling.
Thank
Terry.
you. Yes.
Awesome.
Oh my goodness. Terry Rose Jertson. Thank you so much for bringing your energy. Make sure you plug in with Terry. Get her book, The Chameleon Chronicles. Listen, all of you have been so incredibly fire this evening. Wanted to shout out a couple more folks before we check out this evening. Shout out Denisha, hanging out with us all evening. Lauren, Joshua Love, Mr. Speaker in the building, Joan B, and of course our brother from Japan, Poet Talk. Listen, y'all have heard my voice all evening. Last thing that I want to say is, please remember to plug into the New Eurekan Poets Cafe for all the upcoming events. Make a donation. Make sure you get some of this merch. Represent in your hood. Plug in to all the socials, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And if you need some more poetry in your body, got that Love Jones in your bones still, plug into Thursday nights with Ray Jane. Get your life plugged into Thursday night. Also, tomorrow, like Prop was saying, celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month with Advocate and La Bruja, courtesy of San Diego Miramar College. Plug in with Advocate for the address on that. To every poet who touched the mic tonight, Thank you. Thank you for sharing your powerful energy with us. You really, really make this world go round. Find me at elemental.com. It has really been a pleasure to host y'all this evening. Again, you've heard my voice all night. I am going to pass it off to one of the newest members of our community to send us home. I just want to say, I just appreciate y'all. I look forward to the next time we get together, family. Please send us home. Go right ahead, sir.
Okay, so yeah, it's Silence we're doing this. Earlier you heard one of my comedy poems. I am mainly known as a comedy poet, but I do write serious stuff as well. And this is one that I normally actually perform with music, but it does work without the music. I think I just added the music just to look clever, to be honest, because, you know. So it goes like this. Hello? 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 Can you hear me? Do you know me? I am democracy. I am tolerance. I am decency. Surely it's not hard to see what's happening to me. I'm old and sick, and bit by bit, I'm dying. I'm fighting to hold on, but without your help, I'll soon be gone. I cannot do this thing alone. You are the doctors and nurses. Can't you see that? If left untreated, this sickness can't be defeated. Words are not enough. Your words are therapy, but your actions are medicine. Therapy alone is not enough. My mind cannot be cured if my body's already dead. I still have so much to offer. This is not the right time to go. I need you to save me. I am weakening so quickly, so terribly. Actions, not words. Medicine, not therapy. Don't let me die. Bring me back to the light. The darkness is descending. I'm scared. Not for myself, but for what I leave behind. Don't let me go. I beg you to save me. Give me medicine. It's still within your power. I beg you. Do something. If we all work together, you can save me. Enough is enough. Please. Save me. You've got one last chance. Use it. Do something. Thank you very much.
My goodness. Listen,
Nice.
unmute yourself.
Real nice.
5 Osman.
Nice.
Listen.
Great to be here.
It's not too many ways that you can end the night with some incredible performance like that. Truly appreciate you, Clive, for coming through, for sharing that energy. Listen, for all the poets who came through and stayed with us and hung out, I will share with you how we usually end the night. Thank you for coming through, everyone. Real quick, let's get out of here. Good night, sweet poet. Thank you for sharing what you've written. Good night, sweet poet. Thank you for taking the time to listen. Good night, sweet poet. May your dreams be as imaginative as tonight's poems. Good night, sweet poet. Thank you for inviting the spirit of Miguel Agarin into your home. This has been the Monday Night Online Open Mic presented by the new Eureka Poets Cafe, hosted by me, Elemen2al. On behalf of our community tonight, I, Elemen2al, would like to say good night. Peace.